Wen, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here today.
Lady Leanna, thank you so much.
Yes, I'm here for it. I'm so excited to introduce you to my audience and for people to learn more about you and your story of turning your pain into power. That's what Watch Us Thrive is all about. So let's start off with an intro for anyone who's meeting you for the first time. Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, I am a gladiator of grace, honey. That's who I am. I understand my mission. I understand why I'm called, why I was called and deposited with the courage to pave the path that generations in my culture in St. Kitts, the small tiny Caribbean island, you can't find it on the map, why I was chosen to lead the path where we, women, you listening out here, my clients, if you're listening, we decide our destiny and the destination of our joy, of what joy looks like, feels like to us. And I do that every day, all day, 24/7, as an intuitive healing coach, author. I'm even a musician. Listen, we have all these talents. I am here to serve. I am a resource of healing for other women. And it is my honor to step up and help you and guide you.
Whoa. Can we just pause for a second? This is the first time that me and Wen are sitting down and speaking, and I did a little bit of research on her behind the scenes, but your energy is so it radiates, it's contagious. I'm just so here for it. Like I've had people come on and some are better than others, but I can feel like this conversation right here is going to move some people. So thank you for that. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. And let's just get right into you and your story. I want you to walk us through it as much or as little as you're comfortable with sharing, of course. But before being the woman that you are, coming from where you came from, I know in your application you did talk about you experienced childhood abuse. So, what was life like for you back then? And then, what was the shift or the pivotal moment that came that you decided to break free from all of the shit that you went through?
Sure, no doubt. I'm happy to share because when we tell our truth and when we record our truth for others to hear, we get the witnesses who help us to validate how we are and help us to make sense of ourselves. Because sometimes we believe, including my story, we are born into a culture where physical abuse, whether you're whipping your child, speaking to them in a certain tone of voice, that's normalized. So you and me as kids, we grew up thinking, hey, that's normal. How you speak to each other is you shout. How do you communicate your hurt is by hitting, slapping. That's what I endured as a child. And that was from my mother's side of things. And my father to me was my savior. But in truth, he was sexually abusing me, and I did not remember that. My brain blocked that out until I was in my 20s, working in corporate America in New York City at the time. Complete breakdown, working nonstop, burn out, all the things, my loves. Let me tell you something. If you are running away from a message inside your body that's tapping, and you're running away from it because you cannot energetically hold all the information, the triggers that bring a little memory through, but you bring it down and you shut it down, it'll come up. That is your God. That is the divine telling you there's something in here that needs clearing out. There's something in here that's going to help you get to the next level. And my brain was not letting me get there, but one day it did. And when that happened, crashed and burned, almost lost 2 days of my life. But guess what happened in that journey? In that journey, it took me years to get why that had to have happened. I did not have the courage yet. My brain did not have the attention of the rest of me to help me see when there's something in your past that's going to be a blockage for you until you have the courage, the distance from the abusers, physical distance, emotional distance. And that's what I encountered. And over the years, I went through therapy. Some of that helped, some of that didn't help because there was something inside of me that said, that's not the loving you need. That's not the transformation that's going to help you because when you are the key and the divine sprinkled it into me one day, talk about my real awakening on a Virginia highway. I write about it in my book. There was a message. I was ready to take my life. Third attempt. This message said, come back to me when? Come back to me. And in that moment, I steered the car away from the edge of the bridge and I came present tense, in the car, me and God, Allah, Buddha, the source of all things, I understood the reason why you endured, the reason why all those suicide attempts did not work is because you got a certain courage. You got a mission that's bigger than you. So deliver, have the courage to train yourself in the ways you can heal and forgive yourself because your parents were full of, you know what? It's not your fault, my loves, that you were born into a society. You have a color, complexion, and you have all these things coming around you, and it's in your DNA. That's not your fault. It just is. And in accepting that, I had to first accept all of that, forgive myself, and decide I'm gonna move forward into a new kind of life, baby. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, Leanne. I didn't know how I'm gonna get there, but I knew the destination was gonna be for me peace, peace within my soul. And I was ready to do the work.
Wow. That just gave me like full body chills. Like I can literally just imagine that scenario. And like she said, she does have a book. So if you guys want to learn her full truth and her full story, you're going to have to purchase her book and we're going to link it in the show notes. But you know, it just makes me think of like me hitting my rock bottom moment when I had my come to Jesus moment, when my life was almost taken from me being in an abusive relationship during the pandemic. And for me too, like it just makes me think I really had to almost lose my life in order to really appreciate it and learn from myself that like this shift, this change needs to happen. But the only person who's going to make that change is me. I can no longer put it on him or blame my parents or, you know, whatever it is that I dealt with before. Like it took for me to almost lose me for me to find myself again. And I think that's such an important message that a lot of us need to realize. It doesn't need to be this, you're going to lose your life moment, but we have the power within us to make the change. And I want people to take that away from listening to our conversation that like, it's never too late for you to start over. Never. It doesn't matter what your situation looked like. You have the authority within yourself to make that shift and that change happen despite what your past looked like.
Amen. And you're one strong, powerful woman. Let me tell you what you have endured and to have the grace and the authenticity, the honesty to share. Bravo to you and all the women out there. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I don't care what color you be, what race you be, where you're from in the world. You were already worthy and valid of breathing fresh, clean air. You don't need anybody to tell you that you are worthy because you already came out of the womb worthy, or if you had a cesarean. And it's hard for us to believe that sometimes because along the way, people train us in certain opinions about ourselves. We see examples in our families, how the women behave and let themselves be treated or not, positive or negative. And we believe that's the pattern we have to follow. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When we just take 1 minute, 5 minutes of the day and sit with yourself and tell yourself the whole truth with one question: what do you really want? That's it. And it comes through because you and I, we're equals. We have the divine source of life living and flowing through our veins that's giving us the freedom already, but we don't know it. And so we run away from ourselves. And my loves, let me tell you, you already have all that you need. You already have all that you need, but you have got to decide that I am worthy because I am. I am worthy because I am. I am worthy because I am, baby.
Amen. Oh my God, I feel like I'm in church right now. So, I do want to talk about embracing the emotions, even the difficult ones, right? That definitely come along the healing journey of healing from that generational trauma and the things that we've gone through in our past. How have you learned to embrace all of the emotions and what role do they play in living life on your own terms?
Ooh, I'm going to try to hit it real clear for you. The first understanding of the power of all emotions for me and the equality for me, Leanne, pain, shame, regret, remorse have the same purpose and job to do as joy, elation, ecstasy, exhilaration. They are sacred messengers from the divine For me, I'm a musician, I'm a singer. So I found when I was a kid, I've been writing songs for a while, playing classical piano. From since then, I was able somehow to tap into negative emotions that I was feeling that I couldn't express through words. And I would write these songs and they would come through. So I said, wait a minute. There's a reason why I'm able to do this. I don't have to think about the score. I just write, I just play, I just sing. So that is something is coming through me. I am being used as a conduit, as a tool to express myself. So if Allah, God, Buddha deposited this gift, this talent in me and I discovered it, how can that be wrong if for some reason it's helping me to uncover all of who I am? Just like joy, and I like to twirl and I like to skip and swim and all these things. These are all sacred messengers from the divine. Negative emotions, they're not bad. They're just information. You're feeling hurt. One of my clients, she's feeling anxious and nervous. Her body reflects her anxiety to be shaking. That's just a message. Tap, tap, tap. There's something needed here. Tap, tap, tap. Negative emotions are not bad. They're deposited inside of you to give you a sense of clarity, to give you a sense of yourself. Some of us don't take that moment to touch our heart, to touch our head, to touch our thigh and say, how are you to do? How are you, Dudu? How are you doing today? Dudu, we say for my country, means darling. How are you, Dudu? How are you doing today? That's what negative emotions forces us to do. Some women, if you have your period, that's what your period forces you to do. Slow down, baby, and listen to yourself within. Negative emotions are your messengers from God, divine guidance. And that's why I'm here for them all.
Yes, that's such a powerful switch to have in your mindset, especially if something goes bad, say for me, for example, the girl that I used to be, if something negative goes down in my life, like I just ruminate and I just focus and it gets very dark very quickly because I do suffer from mental health issues like anxiety, depression, PTSD, all those things. But being able to shift that, like, this is allowing me to check in with myself to see what is hurting. Why am I feeling this way? Asking those uncomfortable questions that we're so used to running away from and working ourselves to death or using other vices to ignore the problem to put a temporary band-aid, but then something else happens. And I just think that's such a beautiful shift to be able to have. It's not easy. It's not going to happen overnight, right? I'm sure it wasn't like that for you.
Was not. And I love the way you just said that because you know what it was? I had to get the click, meaning you and I were created by source, the divine, whatever, right? And we are given these signals for a reason. So my loves, who you're listening at, wherever you are in the world listening, let me tell you something. You get that feeling you want to reach for that weed, whatever, alcohol, want to call homeboy to get a little hit of that ooey. Just stop for one moment and say, Lord, Allah, Buddha, whatever religion, whatever source, universe, what is it you're trying to tell me? What is the message here? I don't know what it is, but tell me, Lord, how are you going to use this to help me? Help me. There's a reason you're getting that, my love. But if we don't believe for one moment that we are precious, that we are sacred enough, that's why we got that little clue. The heartburn, the tension in our neck, the cramps in our stomach, the fidgety feeling, that is a signal. And we've got to realize that that's a gift. That is our JEPS. I call it JEPS, Leanne, joy propelling system. It's okay to feel the feelings because when you feel them, you can heal them and come on the other side of deliverance. That's win for you. That's win for all of us. All of us. And it's hard to get there if we somehow think that we are dirty, nasty, this, we beat up ourselves. Done with that. Like we say in my island, done with it. You're not damaged. I say it in my book. You're never too old. You're not damaged. You are not dirty. You're just in transition of coming home to you. That's all it is.
Get curious.
Yeah, and get compassionate with yourselves, my love. Have mercy. Leanne, I suffered from depression, all the things, the same thing you said. But at some point in our lives, we have to say, I gotta choose me. There's a benefit in choosing me because joy is what I was made for. We were not meant to hurt. We were meant to love. We were not meant to hurt. We were meant to love. And you're here for that, aren't you, people? I hope you're here for that. Raise your hand if you're here for
Yes,
that.
yes, yes. Snaps, claps. I need to put like a sound effect, like a round of applause in the background. I'm so here for it. I really think that this episode is going to move a lot of people and they're going to have to hear this. Let this be the reminder that you needed to hear because it's definitely giving me all the feels and so much. Oh, I just can't even put it into words. Thank you so much for that. You offer various tools of transformation, including meditation and private coaching. How have these tools personally helped you in your healing journey? And how do you think they empower others on their healing journey?
Oh, I like this. I think I'm going to switch this answer around for you, the order of this. Here's how I help others. I guide others. I say to every single soul, I'm not the type of coach that says, hey, this is a toolkit and I use it for Charmaine and Leanne and Tyrone, so it'll work for you. No, baby. No, no, no. You are the sovereign divine source of your healing. Each one of us have lived a certain life. Each one of us come from a particular background. Each one of us have a certain rhythm that helps healing and energy and creativity move through us. I might like calypso, you might like reggae bachata, whatever. So you, through our delicious, intimate, chill conversations, you help me to understand how you feel the feelings of love, the feeling of being alive. And through that, you decide if you know what, through meditation, that's my jam. I'm gonna rock with that. Or you may say, you know what? I'm not sure about meditation. It may chill me out enough, or if I may feel calm enough to get there on my own. Let's do the joy retreat one-on-one with you, Wen. Maybe I'll start with your book, Wen. Maybe I'll do the workshop. You decide. And that's what a lot of people may not realize, that inside of them, they are really the key, because I cannot do the work of healing for them. I do not know how they feel. They discover that, and that is a requirement. If any of you ever want to work with me, baby, we're going to get intimate with you because you are your Jeps. And then you tell me, and we work with the rhythm, because your power within is what unlocks everything for you. I am just your guide. So come back to your first question. Me personally, for me, I stumbled on meditation when I was healing myself. I just one day sat on the edge of my bed without calling it meditation. I didn't think I knew what that word was. And I got really, really quiet with myself, and I felt the divine peace, Leanne, like nothing. And love. It was like showers of golden light of love. And there's a higher power here for me. So this put me in direct contact with a feeling that I never felt from anybody, my parents, my past boyfriends, whatever. I said, oh, this is here for me just because I am, even me who've been through all this stuff. And so that was my intro to feeling that. For some people, it's meditation, it's journaling, it's a combination. It all comes down to you being your reservoir, honey, and deciding every day that I'm going to do the practices of healing, because this ain't no one shot. This ain't no one and done. This is an everyday loving. It's not work. Everyday loving. And you get the privilege of loving yourself every day. I am here for that.
Yes, as am I. Absolutely. I just love that you mentioned that because it's not a one size fits all. What works for me won't work for you, or maybe it will, but give yourself the permission to do what it is that feels good for you. And if you guys do want to work with Wen, I'm definitely going to leave her contact information in the show notes. I feel so good. This is such a good conversation, but I still have some more that I want to get to. A lot of my listeners are going through pretty tough times in relationships, whether it's romantic, platonic, even family relationships. So, based on the things that you've gone through in your life, what advice would you give someone who's feeling trapped in a toxic situation and they want to break free and heal, but they don't know really where and how to start? What would you tell them?
I empathize. I feel for all of you who may be enduring. I'm sending so much healing, love, and light to you. Please know, first and foremost, trust the messages that are coming through to you. Just you, just you, just you. Go to someplace quiet and you're going to get the divine intuitive whisper that tells you exactly what you need to do. You can trust yourself. You can trust yourself to hear that truth. And the moment you decide to trust yourself, that's the moment you decide you're going to be responsible for slowly and surely finding a way out. It could be just having somebody else validate what you believe you're feeling, because sometimes we feel so alone. And they want us, they, meaning the people who are hurting us. It could be your boss is an a-hole. It could be whomever. For having us oppressed and having us pressed down and having us isolated, sometimes that gives other people the power that they need to keep us there. But if you tell yourself, be your first witness of yourself, then you may find a trusted friend, a pastor, you may find a coach, you may find a therapist, whomever. You may write a letter to yourself, even if you're not brave enough to say the words to yourself. Just get it out there and know that how you feel matters. That's real. You living with you 24/7. Okay, so don't invalidate how you feel because, oh, what are they going to say? My family's going to be upset. I did that. We all do that because we're not trained. We are not trained to nurture that self trust. You see? And so don't feel bad to ask, raise your hand and ask for help. Raise your hand, ask Allah Buddha, Lord, help me, show me the way. And you're going to get the messages. You're going to get the messages. They're going to come through. And then you are going to decide which way to go, which way to go, which way to go.
Absolutely. That's really what changed for me when I spoke up and started using my voice and saying, I'm not okay. And knowing that I did not need to take this journey on by myself. So thank you so much for revalidating what I experienced. And I'm sure a lot of other people who are in the beginning, they don't know what to do. Just use your voice. Just say, I'm not okay. And that is okay to say out loud.
And there ain't no shame, honey. Please, please, because that's the thing that we imprison ourselves. We can unshame our hearts, unshame our souls, because the bad thing happened to you. You're not bad. You were born beautifully, worthy, and gorgeous. You're just being hurt and you can't hear yourself. You can't see your divine coming through to you.
How have you been able to transform your past traumas into sources of strength and inspiration? And what message do you want to send to others who are facing similar challenges?
I love that question. I accepted that this is my life. All the things that I endured in the past 20s, teens, 30s. I'm a 50-year-old woman, 50+ year-old woman.
And you look damn good.
Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So do you. So do you, gorgeous.
Thank you.
All the things happened to me. I am not that shame, the pain. My parents are who they are, and I found the compassion to forgive them so that I can move forward in my mission. I'm very clear about that. My life makes sense now. That's what I want everybody to know. Once you come through on the other side, you realize, that's why I was this way, and that's why that relationship, that's why I took the little salary, that's why I felt I had to pay the tax, that's why I just sat back and be a doormat. Oh, all that makes sense. And now I can decide to use all the lessons that I have learned, to use all the people that were teachers of love, let's call them that, because I'm not here for negativity, honey. What we focus on becomes our reality. That's why I say, I don't know about you, Leanne, but I am not a victim, honey. I am a gladiator of grace. What we tell ourselves matter. So I use all these teachers of love to help me reinforce and fine tune the methods, the practices, the discipline of loving myself so much, loving all your gorgeous souls out there, and have enough space in my heart to receive your stories and bring you along on the path to purpose, because that's why I'm here. So we're all carrying our machetes, honey. We're carrying all machetes and paving that path for the little girl behind you in China, Chile, wherever you are, Nicaragua, wherever. We're going forward, honey. I get it. I get it. And some of us got to carry a big ass machete. I'm one of them, baby. And somebody else, because
Two
you
of
too,
them.
right? You got two. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go. Let's go. I understand, and I understand the privilege and the responsibility of sharing here with you. I get it. There's no hatred here, honey. The people who hurt you, and they come from generations of hurt, and that was their language, that was their complexion, that was their dialogue. That happened. Now what we gonna do? Forward. Forward. There's joy on the other side, baby.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's all about being able to shift the perspective and break that cycle that was passed down from our parents and their parents. We give yourself the permission to be the cycle breaker. Now, again, it's not easy. We're not saying that it's rainbows and butterflies and zen and all, no, it's not. Real healing and doing the inner work, it takes a lot, but you can absolutely come out on the other side thriving and showing others like one, like myself, that despite what we've gone through, look at where we are now. And everything that we experience, I truly believe it happened for us, not to us. And that's again the shift in the mentality of thinking, being in that victim mindset or that victor mindset. You have the permission within yourself to make the shift and the change.
Amen. Because we already born worthy, honey. And the moment, and Leanne, let me tell you, a lot of us naturally believe that we have to struggle to make it. It has to be painful for us to ultimately feel joy. Life can actually be easy breezy. Every day I look around my life, I'm like, damn, I never knew it could be this sweet. It's available to each and every one of you. The journey here is going to be different for each of us because our starting point was different. So give yourself some grace. There's never a race to heal. There's never a race to heal. It's always available for you. So move at a pace that you can handle. If today you can only do 1 minute, that's it. If today you can only sit in the sun and say, thank you, that's it. Small steps, repeatable steps along the way.
Absolutely. It adds up for sure. I want to know, being the woman that you are, with everything that you've gone through, good and bad, what would you tell your inner child?
Oh, I should whip out this book. I have a whole letter that I wrote myself in my book back here, The Inner Child. And I see her every day. We have chats, girl. We're in the museum together. We're at the beach together. I said, I see you. I love you. I'm sorry you had to carry me for so long, being my parent. I love you. You were so brave. You never got to be a little twirly whirly giggly girl. Come on, girl. Let's go giggle and play. You can find me at a playground any day, honey. I'm at a playground. I'm twirling in the streets. I'm singing in a carrot in the supermarket. You call it out. I'm living my best life. Okay.
Yes.
I'm playing Lego because inside of us, we have to nurture and nourish and soothe the parts of us that are still maybe recovering, and they'll show up ever so often. You may smell something, you may see something, and you come and say, I know you're hurting, you're human. You're still there hurting, and I'm here for you. I am your protector now. I am your mother, your
Mm-hmm.
sister,
Yes.
your gladiator of grace. And
Yes.
tomorrow is a new day. Fear, pain is something you can heal. It can heal. You can feel it and you can heal it. So let's go, baby.
Yes. Absolutely. Oh, I love that so much. And give her a huge hug and a kiss.
Oh, you know it.
Yes.
Bubbling, bubbling, bubbling.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I want to ask you, since you're on the Watch Us Thrive podcast, tell me, what does thriving mean to you?
To me, thriving is being your purest, rawest, most delicious expression, yours. You decide what thriving means to you. I decide what thriving means to me based on the messages that are coming through. So if you ask when personally, it means being all of who I am 24/7. All of who I am, unafraid of messing up. People say mistakes, unafraid of exploring new things, unafraid of being curious. Thriving does not to me just mean accepting my past. To when it means not only being satisfied and grateful, but it means celebrating every single second of the day, not just me, but all of us, Leanne, because when one of us rise up from whatever it is, let me tell you, somebody in traffic being a fool, and you just said, you know what, that's all they're doing. You're rising up. You're not getting in the mix. You're rising up. You're saving your precious energy for something else. So when all of us see that, we can celebrate where we are right now, that to me is thriving because one person affects the next. We're all energy here. We're all energy. And remembering to be grateful. Grateful for even this light that's got me all hot flashing here. You know where you've been, and somebody else may be where you've been. So sharing and being your authentic self helps another soul free themselves.
Yes, absolutely. And, speaking of sharing your true authentic self, I would love for you to talk about that book I see in the background.
Woo!
Talk about, the process of you really sharing your full truth and putting it out there for the world. What was that like for you? And talk a little bit about what people can expect from reading it.
Oh, thank you for asking. You know, it started in 2020. I decided to open my Rebel for a Spell YouTube channel. No, nothing planned. Again, I'm an intuitive person. I move with the spirit. Once I healed myself, I said, listen, you get those nuggets, you get those nudges, move forward. I was in my kitchen in Miami making a cup of coffee, and the spirit said, now, now, now. I put it down and went in front of my camera and I told my story about my father abusing me. I got it. I got what I needed to do at that point. And then from there, I said, yeah, a book is next. The messages just come through, my loves, listening on this podcast. The messages of your next inspired action, whether it is to rest, whether it is to quit your job or quit your man, quit the thoughts that are driving you crazy, or to write a book, whatever, it came through and said, next is a book. And so, Leanne, I understand the privilege of healing means that I must help somebody else on a path that's a little smoother than the one I went on. So 3 weeks I took vacation and I wrote the book. Top to bottom, I went through the whole story about coming to this place where I'm sitting here before you, becoming an intuitive healing and how I was able to heal myself. It's all in the book, 158 pages. I leave nothing out. It's not a book where I'm feeling sorry for myself and being pitiful. It's not about that, my loves. It has exercises after each chapter to help you with your own introspection, with your own healing, because it is a tool that I just show, hey, this happened at that point in my life. Here are the questions that I ask myself. Maybe it'll help you too. And so I go through that whole thing, the evolution of me, and in hopes that it helps others. And I'm hearing from so many beautiful women in Australia, in Canada, and men too. Men too are reaching out and saying the book is helping them because they have daughters, they have aunts, they have nieces. So I'm so grateful. And right now, I'm not sure when this podcast is airing, but right now I have a 99 cents special on the ebook for this week, what is this, February 19th, this whole week on Amazon, wherever ebooks are sold, because I get it. Some of us are at different points in our lives, and having everybody get a chance to have access to it is a good thing. So it's hard copy ebook and audiobook everywhere books are sold. And I hope you give yourself the opportunity of imagining, like I did, what would it feel like to feel peace inside of me, my divine home. Every day is your homecoming. Every day is your divine homecoming if you say so.
Yes. Amen. I want to know, is the audiobook read in your voice?
Oh, yes, honey.
Oh, I was going to say that's the only way. That's the only way I can listen to it.
Girl, I recorded this back in Miami with another woman. Let me tell you, so many people along the way. Morgan. I don't want to give her last name in case she, may not prove it, but she was the engineer, powerful woman who also endured childhood trauma. And I get what you say. I could not have read that book without her being the female engineer in charge of the whole production. Let me tell you, you had moments where you were stopping, I was crying, and we took photos, we were boogieing in the studio. And I'm saying we all are here to support each other, even in the slightest way. Even if your friend sits with you on a park bench and says nothing but hold your hand, you're being validated, you're being cared for. Allow love to come into yourselves, my love. It's available for you. And that's why I have so many avenues of healing: the book, meditation, one on one coaching, the private retreat, you name it. A workshop that I'm having March 10th. It's called the Joy Momentum Workshop, honey, helping women break up with their fears. Because I get it. Sometimes we need that community. Sometimes we need the one on one. I'm here for it all.
I'm here for you. I'm so grateful that me and you connected and you were able to come on and share just a little bit of who you are and how you're able to help people and also help yourself. So please plug in how we can work with you, follow you, and any other last words of wisdom that you want to leave the audience with.
Sure. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here with you. Gladiator, Leanne, let me tell you, all the
Yes,
stuff
I
you were
like that's
doing.
a good word. I
That's the
haven't used
one,
that
honey.
before.
You got to use it up. That's what we are. Gladiator of Grace.
Yes.
Gladiator of
Amen.
Grace. My loves, whenever you are ready, you will decide if you want to work with Wen, because your message is going to come through. You can find me at Rebel, Rebel, for FORA spell, SPELL, rebelforaspell.com, Rebel for a Spell, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. You'll find all the bits about me. I tend to hang out more on Instagram these days, but you can always reach me. The show notes, you find it there with Leanne has it for you. Whenever you feel called to, you show up because inside of you, you have the ability to make that powerful decision. But when you are ready, you will come through. And I'm here to support, here to love you. My book is available everywhere worldwide, Inner Child Healing. And it's not just for inner child healing per se. Of course, if you've been through childhood trauma, but it helps other women who've been through adult trauma, been through small traumas, so I'm here to support you. Whenever you need it, I'm here to support you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Again, I'm going to leave everything in the show notes for you guys to check out, follow her, support her, share this episode. If you're listening on Apple, please leave a rating and review. Tell me what was your favorite part of this conversation. From beginning to end was my favorite. Like I could talk to you for hours. This is not going to be the only time that me and you collab. But I just want to say again, thank you so much for being so honest, so vulnerable, and for allowing others to feel safe, seen, and understood, and know that they have the power within to change their narrative, but it's when they're ready. And you are living proof that you can turn your pain into purpose. So thank you so much for being here, Wen.
Thank you so much, Queen. Thank you.